What's up? What's up? What's up? We're getting ready for our insanity here today. Just waiting to see what's what's gonna happen with all our insanity here. So as you guys know, that we are going to be doing a super mega ultra watch party here today. There we go. I've still got a bit of a repeat with the audio. Well, let's see.
Fair enough, really.
What?
What'd
you say?
You said wolves.
Wolf?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, red wolf.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait.
What
Red
about
eyes?
you?
Can't really hear him.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ooh, yeah, we can hear you now. It's like you turn away from the mic and then we can't hear you.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Honestly, S2G. I'm only going with S2G because Fireflux do not look like they're going to be doing enough to like win the whole thing or anything.
No, I don't think so either, yeah.
Yeah, but I like S2G. I'm going for them. Or Nova. You know, I wouldn't mind Nova doing a hat trick. Why not?
Yeah, I feel like I kind of don't want Nova to win it, because I kind of want, like, the storyline of, like, someone else, but if Nova, honestly,
Yeah.
like, if they come up from, like, what was it, 12th position they were in after day one, they're gonna, like, it's gonna become a meme that Nova always gets 12, like, the first day, and then they, like,
Exactly.
come up to first place on the last day.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm kind of going Nova or S2G. S2G my first pick, but I wouldn't mind if Nova.
Yeah, I actually think S2G is interesting, right? Because they got 4th position on the last PMGC last year at the finals. So I'm hoping maybe they get a little bit higher, because they were starting in 4th after once day 2 began. So, but I think they've kind of moved up a bit. Yeah, so in 2nd position now.
2
So
points
really close.
behind as well.
I know, right?
Very,
It's
very
basically
close,
nothing. Yeah.
Is this? Alright, I was like, is AE already trying to push something over here? This is completely different from
Ooh,
yesterday.
hang
it
on.
is.
Talking about Brew.
Inko down to 2.
Already doing stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, they recognize
Yeah.
they need to put in some work here today.
Yeah, Buram, like, definitely needing something. I feel like Buram, they looked a little bit better in day 1, but day number 2, I'm not really sure what happened to them so much. I felt like we kind of slipped under the radar, no?
Yes, for sure. We were talking about that, weren't we, Dave and Red Eyes? We were talking about Buriram and how they just were kind of non-existent, and then they won the last game just as we were talking about them.
They heard you.
They've been doing nothing, and then they win the last game, fortunately.
Yeah. That's actually been a really cool thing, though, because they've had, like, this super interesting part where they've been able to, like, oh, sorry, I think you're like, DK, you've got a bit of an echo there. I hear this.
I can hear
Oh,
echo.
you hear
I can
yourself in
DK.
DKs?
I know, I heard
I'm not
it.
hearing DK at all.
Yeah, I haven't spoken yet.
Yeah,
I don't know
DK 's
where
coming
it's
through
coming
super
from,
clear to
then.
me. And I don't hear anything duplicated, so you're making me
Oh,
wonder
I
if it's
found
me.
it.
No, I
I
don't
know
hear
where it's
it
from.
either.
I found it as like the third stream in Discord. I'm so confused. It's like, what is happening?
What? So what was the duplication? The stream in Discord?
So what I
Yeah.
discovered my duplication was because I was hearing everything all together, like everyone was speaking twice or 3 times. So I
Wow.
heard the Discord audio and I heard my OBS audio overlaid on top of each other in my earphones. So
Right.
it's like I don't know where to go. I don't know what's happening. And then eventually I managed to I figured out to drop the one. But I think yeah, I mean we got the people. So someone in the chat just said, this is what Ellen said. This is a super ultra awesome watch party. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take it.
Absolutely.
So lucky, and now gonna cook up the nade right now for Frozen. Paraboy's trying to catch up, but God knows that he's not gonna be too eager to throw those nades.
Yeah, they're a bit
Shane, on the
busy
other hand.
anyway. Yeah, the nades.
And we lost Highland Wolf, right? He went.
Yeah. I'm here.
Oh, I don't see the camera.
Oh.
Oh.
Goodness.
Oh man.
Oh no.
The
Uh-oh.
technology today is just.
Let me
really
fix
working out.
myself. I've fallen into the void.
Man,
I don't know what
listen,
Why am I
we-
jumping
we
everywhere?
are 2.5 years into this pandemic. If we are not all zoomed out at this
You
point.
know, like when I'm like fat teacher every time when I go into uni, and I'm like, I'm in a broadcast production university course, and these teachers, oh man, they still don't know how to.
So you're jumping everywhere because I was trying to put you over the overlay, if that makes
I
sense.
figured, yeah.
Over the overlay.
Over the
So
overlay.
what happened so far in
S2G
game?
is. So Jane from T2K came in and up against Nova, got a quick one-on-one clap, survived with maybe less than 4 or 5% health, and then with Nova Order still in the house that he was outside of, he threw a nade in and took him out without ever healing.
Oh.
Great. Oh, yes.
And we got
Good
Nova
job.
up top here.
Yeah, Soul K wants none of that. Fair enough, really.
I had no
We're looking
idea
at
that
Soul K
S2G
today,
was-
right? Soul K Sunday. Are we still going with that?
Oh, yeah. You're right. Hey, Carl, what's up?
There you go.
In Dave's chat,
be
what's
fixed.
up?
Sunday.
Oh, so maybe I should go for Fireflux then
There
if
you
it's
go.
Soul K Sunday.
I've
Maybe.
sent my new link in.
Because I mean,
Hey.
S2G, sure, that's a safe pick, but we're talking about a spicy pick. You know?
Fireflux.
What's the spicy pick? Fireflux.
No.
No.
I think this is a spicy pick. I mean, they're in 14th right
It
now.
is spicy,
That-
but I think it's past spicy and into wishful thinking pick.
Dave, you can't give me grief for going after picking the Eagles. I'm still bitter about about getting lectured for picking the Eagles and being in AC, and you're gonna be okay with fire.
No!
if you're going for Fireflux, I'm going for Geek Fam. Like.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're swapping from Wolves to Geek Fam.
Oh yeah, I'll go for the home nation. No. I can't do them dirty like that. I've like been on the Wolves hype train all of yesterday. I must admit, I've got to stay on it. Like.
Yeah. Wolves they've been doing pretty good the last couple of days, actually, all things considered, so I don't mind that pick at all.
Yeah, they've been a bit up and down
a good
actually,
pick.
I think.
They
I think that's
have,
been
yeah.
the cool part actually, because I really thought that it would be a lot more just one team or two teams running away, right? But actually, it's been every single game. It's been someone different. I mean, even like Geek Fam getting that win and in the earlier games of yesterday, it was just so crazy.
I mean, AE getting a win. I mean, they were last
I
place
know,
for
yeah.
a good long while.
16th position and then coming out on Sanhok for it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And wiping Nova twice. So I think they got we'll probably be seeing more of them in the future. I would have thought.
Oh yeah. I mean, definitely with vampires as well to get a win. I hope so.
Yeah, I think that'll be my spicy pick. Like, not for them to like really improve today, but to get at least one chicken in the tournament.
Yeah.
You know?
I really hope they get it. Yeah, as long as everyone kind of goes out with a chicken, I feel like.
Yeah.
We were definitely talking about like there definitely needs to be some kind of pivotal awakening here for a lot of these lower bracket teams. On if they're not going to do it today, then what are they doing? Because if you're not anywhere even close to the running, and if you're like a team like AE who just was gifted an invite here, you do not want to end up at the bottom of the bracket without any big plays. So I think right now the goal for them should be doing something that's memorable. You know, kind of rather than even going for the overall placement, memorable. Get on the radar of these people.
Yeah, they're already getting 20K just for being here, right? So you might as well risk the prize pool a little bit if you're at the bottom, right? Just to try to put your name on the map here.
I mean, if it kind of, just to go back to like a you know, spicy pick for the win, can I just mention DRS? Because of what we were talking about yesterday.
Yeah.
I kind of, but like they've continued to do well despite us kind of going, what are they doing? You know, just a little bit, and they're still fourth.
Yesterday, that was really surprising because I never really noticed DRS, but they have been climbing on the leaderboard, right? Yesterday, because they definitely weren't fourth starting. Yesterday, I mean, even Nova, right? Yesterday, I mean, they kind of dropped, I think, a bit from where they were. They kind of peaked around that third position, but I mean, it's Nova. I can never like really count them out, I think, in terms of being able to get there.
For sure.
We were talking about DRS pretty much both yesterday and the day before, just like they were making just tactical error after tactical error and just second chance at life every single time. I mean, I've never seen luck just pan out in such a way. I mean, don't get me wrong, they were making bad decisions, and somehow in a situation where their opponent was somehow making a worse decision.
And the only thing, no, go ahead.
No, that's basically all I had there.
No, yeah, it's just the only thing that they really had going from it was that adaptability, that switch up from, oh, this was a mistake, how do we fix it very quickly, and they managed to do that. But still, the mistakes were being made, and it was just very strange. So that's kind of, in a way, a spicy pick, because they've been doing well despite all of that, so who knows?
What about you, DK? I don't think we got your spicy pick.
Yeah, what's your spicy pick?
My spicy pick. All right, so from day one, I was saying godlike STE, right? Yesterday, I just randomly dropped in your chat and I said S2G's the GOAT. I'm sticking to both those statements. I think S2G will continue to remain the GOAT here, and I'm still gonna be shouting it out for STE. That's me. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
I am curious to see if like what we were talking about yesterday about Nova and Alpha 7 kind of saving their cards for the final day, saving their big hands here, their big plays. And I think we were talking specifically in pertinence to Alpha 7, just the fact that they were playing a fairly slow play yesterday, which was sort of surprising given how close to the top end of the bracket that they were. So I think, you know, the reason for that, and that I think Dave mentioned it first, but Nova and A7 would be the two teams that I would expect people to kind of hold, you know, that people would want to study. So if I were them, I would want to hold off and not really give them that sort of advantage. I would like to save those big, you know, blitz plays for the final day.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's a great point. And we saw on the map, A7 got a little 2-2 split going on in the center of the zone. And then Nova are at that really strong compound in the south that overlooks that little bridge. They're playing gatekeepers, so
yeah, I mean, the same
positions here so far in game number 1 for those two teams.
Yeah, the same for I think for Angry Men, right? Because they've got that strong position on the hill, particularly overlooking more of that flanking side towards the west, right? So teams who maybe do get game kept more in the eastern, where there is that cluster of teams, decide to rotate down the south end of that zone, and then end up still crossing a bridge into for Angry Men. And I think that's something that's been really strong actually through the first 2 days, right? Is that for Angry Men, they've been really good at that control in their position. I think it's just been the kind of finishing touches that they need to get to that final point of each game.
Are S2G going to get taken out first this game?
Oh, goodness.
The only caveat is, like, Inco also lost 2 early on, right? now fighting for that fourth place spot. Points difference, but still, this is pretty massive for, like we were saying, like A7 to start to play catch up here.
Oh, and that's
And
STE with the third
I'm so
party.
glad that you brought up A7. I think it's a perfect transition because you were just mentioning, Dave, that they're doing a 2-2 split right there on the final day when they are in third place overall. I mean, like, that's a pretty risky move, essentially, to do that this early on. It's like taking a first serve in tennis on your second serve, you know, if you're doing it on the final day, a 2-2 split when you're that close to the running in the top bracket. 16 points behind the lead.
I don't play tennis. You gotta dive a little deeper.
So essentially, you get 2 serves each time in tennis, and usually your first serve is your big, heavy one. And if you don't get that, then you dial back a lot of the pressure to make sure that your second serve gets into where it needs to go. There's only a certain range. And so for Venus and Serena Williams, like that, their big thing was that they would take their first serve on their second, and that's kind of like. You have to be super confident and aggressive to do that. And that's kind of my point with Alpha 7 is so much being on the line here on this final day to split up like that. You have to be so individually aggressively confident.
Yeah. I mean, crossing these later points, I mean, you can see 4AM right here versus Vampires. There's kind of this issue with 4AM on this hill. They've got that rock as well to kind of protect them, the vehicle as well, to cross over that block on the flank that they're trying to worrying about here. I quite like actually what Vampires are doing, trying to do this kind of wide rotation across to maybe catch out 4AM, but you can see the road here. It's just going to be so difficult for, I think, them to end up getting later into this zone, and especially kind of moving that zone now into that hillside on the south. I'm really expecting actually even maybe IHC to move up towards that top hill and get a bit of a better vantage point now that zone has shifted into where it has.
Jimmy just pressed the wrong button. He exited out the vehicle at top speed. Good job.
They are. I want to get you guys to take DK and Wolf. Yesterday we were all kind of in agreement that 4AM, they're either hot or cold, and they love pulling up. And like what were you guys kind of seeing over there from that team?
I don't know what I'll ask you, DK, because I'm curious, because I've got my own opinions in 4AM. But what were you thinking?
I think yesterday 4AM lost out, or had a lot of missed opportunities. Especially, I think coming into that last Erangel, I mean, they were so beautifully primed in their setup, in their positioning, and they did nothing with the spot. I mean, they just kind of chilled there. I think, well, no, sorry, that was on the Miramar game, and they just chilled there, right? They did nothing. They got taken out, an absolute wipe coming through on them. Yeah, I don't know. It's like they've got really good ideas. They find themselves in a really good position, but it's just either maintaining that position or putting a good execution from there is not necessarily always where their strong suit lies.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, right? I think it's just what I said earlier is they always seem to get that like really cool position, and I think that's something they're really good at in terms of the mid game, right? And they're really controlling in that mid game and the portion of making sure they get that space for themselves. But you can see it even with Powerboy, right? I mean, Nova are trying to move around this map, but 4AM have got that beautiful hill location on the south, and it's just worked so good for them in terms of gatekeeping teams out and putting them in that awkward position. But here also, I mean, God, like Star Wars as well, looking like they've found something in terms of T2K.
Yeah, they had to get that revenge for that early on clap at the beginning of the match here, so Pika had to send that message there, but gonna be able to get the revive? Yes, ironically. Kind of Legend sort of backing out and leaving that revive for him to take.
Yeah, I've noticed that actually in the PMGC, a lot of these teams in this tournament specifically have always just, or for most of the part, if the team fight is going wrong, they kind of abandon one of their members and they kind of just try to go for the points. It's something that doesn't happen a lot in terms of the smaller tournaments, which I think could be interesting to see going into next year, right?
Right.
Well, with this kind of money on the line, I think,
right.
You know, you're going to see...
Placement. Yeah.
I think, you know, it goes to say something when the teams don't take something.
Yeah. There's no air horns today.
I love the air horn.
Was popping off. Day 2 is going to, tone it back, but now he's just gone, you know?
He's just gone.
DJ Camera got a thorough lecturing.
Yes. Yeah, he did. I'm really sad for
Raven,
Vampires.
look at his health. Oh, I thought
Where?
Raven's health, he was literally 1%.
Oh, right.
And-
Oh, I think Red Eyes is behind again.
Yeah, I guess I am. Let me hear.
Yeah.
I'm sharing my screen in Discord, by the way. For the live feed.
Okay. All right.
Red
I
Eyes,
was doing it through
just
60
hit-
frames.
go to the play speed and just hit it on twice
2
speed,
times.
and it catches up.
Exactly.
You might even then get ahead of us. You know what's gonna happen tomorrow. So when you find out,
Yeah.
please let us know.
Yeah.
You already know the ending.
Yeah, who wins?
Who wins what?
Red
This
Eyes
game?
wins. Red Eyes wins.
Red Eyes.
I can't believe
Red
we
Eyes
didn't
wins.
Hey,
ask that.
Professor Tarzan, what up?
Hey, welcome.
Josh.
Playing with the gang.
What's swinging?
Oh man, he's watching. Yeah.
Oh.
Tarzan, how is
4
it?
4 AM are dominating. So 5 elims so far for them. They are climbing up here. They are just steamrolling in the south right now.
I want to go back to Vampires just very, very quickly. I feel so bad for them. They had a really, really good momentum going forward onto, what was it, STE over in that shack. They had a really nice timing going on. They were really, my words. They were really good on that push, timed it really well, but the zone just kind of took most of their health, and by the time they actually were able to get anywhere really near them, they were already kind of dead in the zone. But they got wiped clean.
Yeah, I mean, DRS really well. I think it's so good as well in the positioning for DRS. They also made sure that they kept that fight below the hillside so that they don't actually get caught from these enemy teams. And it's that position as well. I mean, God, like Star Wars as well. Oh my days, playing with the zone. But we've got to step up though, yeah.
That was bound to happen
there
at
we
that
go.
point. Low ground, low health.
And look who it is, A7 on the top of that hill. That's a nice spot.
Well, I mean, I think getting early real estate high ground right now.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, we're going to see A7 be a little bit more quick to the punch with something like that here today of all days.
Yeah, I think actually as well, they're looking crucially, God like Star Wars, maybe something that you need to kind of work on here in terms of getting a position around into up that hill and a better spot for themselves, because they just seem a bit more in the open. I mean, in the side of also here, IHC potentially, yeah, just got such a good position with all 4 members on the back of this hill as well. I think it's just whoever has that low ground advantage right now seems just in such a good position, because unless you're at a team like A7 where you've got that plane, you've got that big dip in terms of the plane crash site, it's just so impossible, I think, to be able to move and be able to do things in this end here.
So 1v4 out here, poking the bear. A7 so split right now, trying to just dominate the zone and get the right here.
Hang on, it's gone to 4 AM though. The zone.
No, it's only 1 now.
Yeah, that's the A7 that I would expect to see right now. Is splitting up, kind of dominating. And I expected to see a little bit more of that from Nova here at the kicking right off the bat in this last day. I would think that starting right off the bat, we would see Nova start doing more of that 2-1-1 or the 3-1 split.
Yeah.
Kind of approach that we know him for.
Yeah, I think actually in terms of Nova, it's just been, I think, difficult for him to get into that zone because 4AM put him in such a difficult position. And I think they put him behind. I think actually 4AM, they're doing just really well here, keeping that position on the mountainside. The only thing I'm really worried about is if that zone kind of moves upwards towards the north, how are they going to realistically move through all of these solo teams and the teams on the mountainside? But then again, DRS and A7 on this top end as well, on the plane path. The big fight here.
Yeah, looking to push this here. I love this. They got the knock, and now they're using this trench to kind of move a little bit closer within grenade range. We got to see what Mythic does, though. Mythic really trying to hold it down and allow that revive. Looks like it did work. I'm so okay. What's DRS doing? That's what we've been talking about. I feel like they were about to push that, then they get into some vehicles and start driving in donuts here.
Yeah, yeah.
These
They go
weird
in-
tactical errors.
T2K.
T2K is just so thankful. They are so thankful for Legend right now.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Birds, one stone, too.
Oh
T2K did not expect to be relevant at this in this match at this stage after they lost all those people that early on. So Legend is doing great right now. And look at, I mean,
A7
honestly,
driving off.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, that's I mean, because they had the high ground over them. Why not? Maintain that height advantage and keep the pressure on.
Yeah, I think it's just that power, right? It's the same as 4AM on the south side, A7 here on the north. But I think A7, they're kind of struggling a bit because they've got so many players to control, and they're doing that split again, and they're kind of juggling their players back and forth. You can see them moving in that 2-2 split formation to kind of keep IHC at bay. They've been able to do that with the smokes there in that high ground. But on the other end, Moroso and Revo, I'm still a bit concerned about them because although DRS did get knocked, I think they were able to get themselves back up. It does look like they have more in those two players there, so they're still gonna be at a man disadvantage, and as DRS moves.
Tarzan swinging in the chat, as DK would put it, said teams that understood the north would definitely be in the advantage here.
Oh yeah,
chose to kind of hold it down a couple of zones ago, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean that's what A7 did, isn't it? They got that spot several phases ago, and they decided to just hold on to it and use it to control the rest of the zone. It's worked out for them so far. I mean, 5 kills, still full squad, so it's doing good things.
I'm gonna be honest. I completely forgot about Inko this entire match.
I know, right?
I didn't see a single thing from them. I just assumed that they were out, and then bam, Vitaly getting a
here they are
knock there. It's just one guy holding the team strong. And as long as it's not even a problem for him because S2G's already out with only 1 kill on the board. So realistically, just by making it into this top 9, he's already gotten more placement points than A7 has kills.
Oh, hang on.
No way.
How? No way.
That was Alpha 7 demoing their skills on IHC, showing us what they can do.
What in the Paul Walker did I just see? I mean,
they had enough of IHC, I suppose. They just ran it straight down. And I mean, that's the decisiveness that they needed because they were definitely struggling, right, to control both sides. And just sending it into one team, I think, worked well for them. It could have backfired, though, immediately if they didn't get that first initial knock with the vehicle. So really good here also at STE. That's crucial for Inko there because they keep themselves now in this game as a solo. And it's only them on that side, really.
I don't think we're like really placing the emphasis on just how risky of a move that was by A7.
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking about the 2-2 split, you know, early on, and how that finally down.
I think they were trying to run it back one more time, but they
it didn't quite work.
I mean, honestly, risky's not even it. It's reckless. Wow. It was reckless.
Yeah, I think they felt pressure to do something, right? And I think they should have maybe just tried to go for survival rather than kind of throwing their bodies at 4AM because 4AM just have such a great rich line. I mean, that zone, sure, is coming in now, but they still kind of got a little bit of a dip to work with. In 4AM, there's such a powerful position right now because no team can really come down into them. The moment they come down from the hill and past the tree line, 4AM have even their Evan on that kind of big split, which is the real problem. So Espen can even flank DRS if they try to make a wider move.
100%. That second angle is crucial.
Yeah.
Especially against it's a complete opposite strategy from DRS, who honestly, of all the times to be a singular unit right now, this is probably not it. You're gonna want to make it so you're not all able to be taken out in a spray or a spray and a half here. Exactly like what 4AM's doing, not putting all their cards in one basket here. Evan, the second that they gain on WWX and King, Evan should be there ready and waiting.
Yeah, exactly.
Except Evan did the wrong, you know, the use of the anti-smoke is what I'll say. It's like, rather than clouding yourself, you're just giving your location
Giving
away
yourself away, I think that's the problem, right, is I think on one hand it can be good, but on the other hand also you're kind of giving yourself away. It could be also strategy though, in the sense of showing that you have this big split and feeling for DRS, there isn't really a way that they can move around. So they actually, by using Medford, they're saying, well, you can't go this way, and then they're coercing DRS into one position to go a different direction, which is then how they're going to control DRS on that different play.
And that's exactly what we're seeing now. There's King Chen. He's just come in On that different side, they're just hemming them in. They're playing it slow. It may not look like they're playing this slow, but they really are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just
Well, I mean,
bit by bit closing the net.
But I mean, like, honestly, if there was ever an issue with being all one singular unit, DRS is exemplifying it right now. Like, they have all the 4AM was taking advantage of DRS's indecisiveness, and DRS has got a reputation.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, right, DRS, they can do nothing. I think it should really be 4AM's game. I mean, if it wasn't before, it is now. They're down to one player. They're trying to make that revive, but they're going to sit together. And I think this is a moment, as soon as now King Shen is healed up, 4AM are probably going to move in and close that noose just a little bit tighter.
I mean, this was 4AM. They shouldn't have had this. They didn't have the high ground or anything. I mean,
no.
Wow.
Played this really, really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
there
that
it
was
goes.
a clinic really from 4AM, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So making sure we killed the players away from them in the mid game. They had that space all to themselves, and then I mean, DRS, they just didn't have really the position and the way to get down that hill, did they?
No. Not at all. Yeah, they didn't have the
4AM, they were proactive in trying to set up for that late game, like that last circle as well, like to be a center and have overview on that center, just come out with those things out.
Yeah.
But it seems like they also, I think they reviewed their performance from yesterday.
Yeah.
To try and close up any potential gaps, right? They don't want to have any opportunity to let anything slide. They want to keep it tight. They want to keep it concise. And I think that's gonna be part of an important kind of recipe if they're looking to push all the way to the very top slot.
Yeah, and I think for 4AM we need to keep that consistency, right? Because that's been something I think from a majority of these teams, the consistency is kind of hasn't really been there. And I think actually a good example of that, I mean, was Inco. Sure, they got right the later position in this game, but they did it only with 2 players for the majority of the game in the early stages. They lost 2 very early on. Then they only had 1 player, and thankfully who was able to get themselves into that kind of top 5 position. But even yesterday, they didn't look consistent compared to what they did in that first game. They had a really pop-off performance, sure, in game number 1, but then for the rest of the day, they had a lot of low finishes where they were getting taken out or losing members.
Did you just see that, though? That where 3 of their members were dealing out 10 times more damage than they took in that match? Took me only, like, less than 200 damage and dealing out over 1,000. 3 of them.
Oh my days. That's disgusting. That's disgusting amounts of damage. I mean, still though, really has spent so much in terms of that position. I think just coercing like DRS into that one position. I mean, DRS, they probably could have given it a bit more welly in terms of that end game. I mean, I know it's so hard, but if you are just going to sit there and do nothing and fall off and get eliminated anyways, you might as well try to make a push. And I think that's something that A7 tried to do onto 4AM. Maybe it was a mistake for them to do it so early.
On their opponents and get them from a safe distance without having to worry about taking that retaliatory damage. It's pretty well played.
Yeah, I think it also speaks even to kind of the point they were fighting with A7. I mean, I'm looking at your screen there, Dave, but also where, T2K, right? Yeah, because I feel like just they didn't have an idea of what they wanted to do in that kind of end game with their position they had. They knew, right, that they had a good position, but they weren't sure how to kind of amplify it and be able to take control of it, and they kind of split off to T2K. They got knocked on that 2-2 split, and then that really, I think from that point, that's what kind of set them behind, and they weren't really sure how to move forward and how to make those splits after that, after losing that one player.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is what we've been
Totally
talking
agree.
about DRS, like the whole tournament, right? Like right here on this little trench, they got the knock, and you see Delta pushing up with the grenades, even Rules possibly
Gonna
looking
give it up.
for an off angle,
Right.
but then you know, just kind of like their vehicle usage gets a little sketch at moments
Yeah,
where
it does.
you feel like you should be really focused on, for example, A7 right here, and like you said, Wolf, they ran to legend, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think from here, this is where they got a bit scared, and I think the mental for them was that we're just gonna kind of hold up together. We're a bit scared now to split because we're scared of these solo players, and then they kind of left it a bit too late to make that split, and didn't quite realize maybe it was only 4 a.m. and when they did finally realize it was that one team, it was a bit too late because they had the zone coming in behind them as well. I think also as an argument to make, right, that 4 a.m. also had such a really good position with that zone, the zone keeping that ridgeline so long for them. They were able to use that so well. But I mean, to use the space given, you can't deny that 4 a.m. still did a good job.
But you know, we're talking about what DRS could have done better. But honestly, this is how DRS has been playing the whole time. Just we're criticizing the errors that they made because they're so blatant. But they got second place.
Yeah.
Okay, they got second place when they already are holding a very good positioning. Technically, if you want to get down to the nitty gritty, they did best overall that match, essentially in pertinence to being consistent with the way that they've been playing the entire time. A lot of really stupid plays that just somehow they're overcoming the error and just getting lucky. I don't know what else to say, but the system that the balance of it that they have found, it's I mean, it's not heroic, it's not chivalrous, it's not it's to the point where we're saying what they're doing wrong when they're getting second place.
I think,
right.
Yeah, in terms of their team fighting, right, they're pretty sound, and when they get a good team fight underway and they have a good position, I think it's just a small kind of micro errors they've got in their positioning, setting up the team fights or setting up these late game positions. That's kind of where DRS are struggling. So they have an overall good stance on the game that they play, but because they make kind of these micro errors in terms of the setup or in terms of finishing those final moments, that's what kind of looks obvious and stands out to us, right? It makes it kind of look like they shouldn't be as good as what they are, but I still think credit to them to get to these positions and to get to the top of that hill. They still do a good job in terms of the rotation game of getting into that late stage.
But then again, they built up all that effort into getting that placement, which is the most pivotal part about the end game, and then lost from a high ground standpoint with the number advantage at one point. That boils down to either an issue with the IGLing, you know, maybe a hesitancy with IGLing, or just a lack of confidence or something, maybe a nerve factor or a lack of confidence. But it's very recurrent in this event.
Yeah, and I think
it's
also
fair though that we're hard on them at the same time though when I'm talking about DRS, because like these little things that we're chirping on, at the end of the day could be a difference of like a $20,000 jump in the leaderboard.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like at the same time they are doing good, but they could be doing better and just tighten up, because the jumps between the upper echelons of the leaderboards for the prize pool is massive. First and second is a 200K difference. Like that is that's big. That's a lot of money.
That's big.
That's big. You know, it's a lot of money for 3 days.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like an anomaly kind of situation here where I've never seen a team that's placing so well make the kind of like last place mistakes that I've seen from them. And like so many. We've been talking about that multiple times now for the past 3 days, and so the fact that they are, you know, able to kind of put themselves in a situation where even when they're screwing up on such a ditzy scale, they've already secured some sort of security, some sort of positioning, some sort of placement, to the point where they're like, we made a ditzy mistake, whatever, we got our points, say something, say what you want, we got our money.
Wow. I think it's interesting because especially for them, I feel like maybe they do a little bit better on other maps as well. I'm not sure about Erangel for them. I feel sometimes I've seen them get a little bit of a struggle going on in terms of these maps, in terms of concluding them. I actually think as well in terms of heading into Miramar, I'm kind of looking more to S2G as well, because S2G, they did get that win, but I think always, even I remember talking about it in previous seasons in towards the Middle Eastern League, right? But they do so well on Miramar, and SGG are one of these strong teams that I think can definitely really pop off on this map. It's more of a comfort.
2 points behind second place right now.
Yeah, as well.
So this Miramar
Are they?
game
Are they still?
will help them out.
Yeah, it's really close still. Yeah.
Yeah, super
Still,
close
even
to us.
after that bad game.
Yeah, they're in fourth right
Wow.
now. 124, A7 third, 125, and 4
Ah.
AM are now in second at 126.
Second, okay.
Yeah.
Because STG were second with 2 points behind first at the beginning. Okay, all right, I get you.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
that's solo from Inco that Red Eyes pointed out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
man.
Able
yeah.
to maintain the first place just by
Mhm.
chilling by a tree the whole game.
Just by
right?
chilling and not smoking the tree.
Did
Yeah,
any of
true.
us bring up Inco the entire second half
No.
of the match?
Nah.
Like
No.
that just shows
Yeah.
how well his positioning was, to the point where none of us even brought him up. Nowhere we switched, he wasn't even nearby. So I mean, good on him. If you are going to be a solo and then already have so much, you can only lose ground from there. You're doing so well, you can only lose ground. Yeah, lay low, let those numbers dwindle. I say it so much, but do it. It's not
that could
crazy.
be
Do
that
it.
could be like a $200,000 solo game, honestly, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
as we
for
start to wind down, imagine
Yeah.
if you win 400K because you were soloing game one.
I'm just
Yeah.
imagining,
You
I'm
said
just
beside
imagining like the community be like, oh, you were camping, and then his teammates like, yeah, so here, take this extra $50,000 and just go maybe
You earned
buy,
this one.
spend a little bit on some therapy, and then spend the rest on a car, and see how you feel
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, the
Yeah,
counter
yeah.
argument to that is always right. Like, oh, I was camping, but like, wouldn't you camp for $200,000 as well? Like,
Yeah, but okay,
yeah.
so this is where I think it changes from
Yeah.
camping to glamping,
yeah,
right?
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
It,
That's
like
bad joke.
if it's that much money on the on the at stake, it goes from
Mhm.
camping to glamping if it's
It does.
for that big brain strat.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure
This
it does.
Paraboy with some light
I
up signs.
know.
Yeah. Hey, what'd you
Heck
guys
yeah.
think about that play yesterday? I think that's
Ugh.
the play of the tournament so far.
Play of the
Yeah.
tournament.
Oh,
for
yeah.
Best
sure.
nade ever. Best nade ever.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was
Yeah.
so good.
I think he got that other guy that was running on Livik.
Mhm.
I think he got him with that nade as well. It's one of
Yeah.
those.
Are they going to
Yeah.
spectate Paraboy today, though, is the question. Are we going to give
They've
Paraboy
got
a
to.
redeem?
Yeah.
They got
I mean,
it,
we didn't see
right?
much of him in that first game. The only real thing we saw of him was when he got knocked to 4 AM, right? So, not so good today.
I
quite
gave him. Go
Yeah?
ahead.
No, I was gonna say
say
on another note, I actually quite liked while we're speaking about the signs is all the food references on the signs yesterday. Like at the start the day me and DK were talking about it. It was like there's so much food references and
But
these
nobody's eating
signs.
food, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's so hungry.
But I think we were already giving Paraboy a little early day grief here in the beginning of match one when Order was up against getting naded by that guy from it was S2 not S2G Team 16 T2K Train to Kill, and Paraboy was driving away on a buggy. I'm like, well, yeah, that seems about right. He doesn't want to come up here with a nade anytime today.
Right,
Too much
right.
pressure. Too much pressure. Just at this point.
Yeah.
Imagine what it's like to throw the next nade after that nade in Sanhok. Like,
I think
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we talked about it. I think once or twice too. When you're looking at Paraboy, I believe he's the richest player in the game when it comes to
Yeah.
earnings, right? So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
one grenade, I don't think will phase him. I mean, we'll put a damper on his legacy, maybe a little bit for a couple months, right? But at the end of the day, he's
Right.
still right around in his Lambo, living in his penthouse. He's not
Yeah,
wanting
yeah.
that back. At the end
Yeah,
of the day.
I think it was one of those moments. I mean, you saw it right in the reaction. They were high fiving
Yeah.
each other after they died.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job.
Okay. Good game, I guess.
Yeah.
It was a really good compound flush. It was.
Yeah.
It was
Everyone was on the edge of their
fantastic.
seats.
Yeah, it was really
Did you
good
guys-
until themselves. Yeah.
Did you guys see the set of videos that Nova put out kind of right before the PMGC started, of kind of showing the community a little bit of the Chinese culture, that they're kind of getting back in touch with and just trying to actually kind of introduce to the community? It was the coolest set of videos, and I mean the production quality of it.
Yeah.
If you haven't checked it out, I might even put it up here on the stream and next time. It was really something.
Yeah, that was really cool actually. I've not seen that. Yeah,
I haven't.
That would definitely be have a good look at it. Oh man, Miramar. I swear. Okay, right. I'm just saying it right now. If we get a Lost Leona's zone, I swear to goodness, like it's because I'm here. Like,
I thought you were gonna do backflips or something.
Yeah, like I'll backflip off his shit. I can't even do a backflip, but I'll do it just for you. I'll do it just for you.
Well, Jahad just said Paraboy literally changed his layout for PMGC Finals, and he's still balling.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
All right, now he's just
How
flexing on the rest
drastically
of
did
us.
he change it?
I don't know. Maybe change the color. I don't know.
Crazy.
Change
No,
the
but-
color, yeah.
He did more.
And the fact that he's changing up settings at this stage.
Oh.
Where'd you hear that?
Yeah,
Jahad,
source.
where did you hear that?
Source.
Hit us up in chat.
Tarzan in chat said as well, there's no camping, only strategic reactive play.
Yeah.
Disagree.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Okay, I'll say that when I play my games of PUBG, right? When I sit
Yeah,
in the house for
yeah,
20 minutes, it's
yeah.
strategic play.
For me it is.
At this level, he's not wrong. He's not.
No,
that wrong.
no.
I mean, at this
Right.
level, I don't think you can really necessarily call it camping. when you've got
Exactly,
this
there's
kind of
two
money on the
different
line.
kinds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's
Yeah,
got a very good point there.
there's the classic game camping where the guy's on YouTube in a house somewhere waiting for the game to finish, and then there's camping in high level competitive play. There's two completely different things. There's more strategy involved, even in
Yeah,
the
I
camping.
call it strategic delayed rotations.
Yes,
They're gonna move
exactly.
at some
DRS are
point.
doing it all tournament long, by the way.
That's
And
fair
they're,
enough.
and they're in fifth, so it's working. It's working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm writing down these notes.
Okay, so Jahad says he changed to a 4-finger claw for his finals on his Instagram page.
Oh.
For the
Probably
finals,
from
yeah.
6 finger or 5 finger.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
From 2-finger to 4 fingers said
Yeah.
Red Dot.
No.
I
That's an
don't think
upgrade.
so.
That's
Yeah.
an
So he
upgrade if,
changed from 3 to 4, I guess.
3 to 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude's
Yeah,
got a
it's-
whole extra finger now.
Yeah, I can
Yes,
just
sir.
see,
Heck
like I can see the plays where like you have what is it that meme with like the brain in it, like the outer like kind of feeling in the brain. It's like 2 fingers and then like 4 fingers, like. 4
But see,
fingers is when
See,
you
if,
get
if
crazy.
someone says to me, I've got it in the bag, that would make me really start to stress because that means they walk around with a bag of fingers.
That's true.
Oh
We need
no.
that
You know,
meme,
honestly, that-
HiglandWolf.
Yeah, I'm so glad that like you get to experience the dad jokes. It was
Yeah.
just me who
No,
got
dude,
to
I-
indulge
It's
in
fun.
it today.
I talk about this every event that I do with DK is that like I bring him in and I know that he comes in a little tired during the day because he's up a little late, writing these jokes.
He's
down.
working it.
But you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? It's worth it. I mean, the
Yeah.
big bucks. It's what we pay the big bucks for.
Yeah.
Bucks. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I would
Dad
like
joke
to
just
see
right. No one will know you did it in the first place.
is we need like a dad joke battle between DK and Maxman. Like I want to make that happen at some point.
We've actually done that. We've actually done that on
Wait, do we
stream.
what?
Like not a legitimate one-on-one, but we had a bit of a riff. Right. But then we're like, oh wait, it's PUBG. Let's get back to the,
Mhm.
and then yeah.
Honestly, like that needs to happen. A dad battle.
What are we looking at here this game on Miramar? I mean, early game super quiet as always, of course. But what team do we think should try to really pop off here, or at least attempt to?
I think S2G want to undo
Yeah.
game 1
True.
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it happened, right? And you tried to make a push. I think the S2T always were going to have, I think, of a little bit more of a difficult time because they were crossing at bridge. And I think
Exactly.
also it was the third parties, right? It was Star.
Right.
Like, it was. Well, like Stalwart in that back line, they just really just put so much in. And I think it was even IHC, right? Even was on another angle. So it was just really
that was
unfortunate.
Nova.
Oh, was it Nova? Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the fourth party. Yeah. So he just had a lot of these extra players just shooting at them, and I think that really
Yeah.
dissolved their chances. I mean, as long as they write it off, as long as they don't let it kind of get to them, that's the crucial point in this day.
Yeah.
Because definitely the pressure is just going to be so high for all of these players. With only now 5 games to go.
Especially when it's only so few points between.
Yeah,
right?
as
So they've only
well.
technically lost 2 points. 2 places and 2 points will get them back up to second, and then it's only 10 ahead to that first place. So it's fine when you have, because every team's going to have a bad game. You know, S2G, they've been super consistent over the last 3 days. They've had really good placement consistently, and so one bad game is not going to do you in, but that kind of added pressure of so few points means so many places. That could really affect them mentally. So I'm hoping that they will. I mean, they should be able to bounce back because Miramar is a totally different ball game than Erangel, and it's their best map. They should be fine. So I think they're going to really try and go all in on this one.
I mean, also just go ahead.
Go.
I was just gonna say as well, like, I just think this tournament specifically is just so crazy that actually, well, I mean, goodbye Wolves per my team. But anyways, the tournament has just been so close actually compared to the other ones, and it's been so surprising. I mean, the top 5 teams, right, pretty close together. I mean, sure, there's a gap between 5th and 6th, then, but even from there, I mean, look at the amount of teams that are on 90 points or so, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
then,
all the way down to 11th.
Kind of back on the Neptune's point, like the mental aspect is so important. And for S2G, starting the day, you know, you come out the locker room, you're pumped up, you're ready to go, you're feeling good. Today's the last day, and then you die first. You know, it's like, how does that impact you for the rest of the day? But then I look at their stats from yesterday. They had a 16th, and then immediately after got a 1st place, right?
Right.
So, and that was first place on Miramar.
Right, and that's exactly what you've got to do. If you're a team watching this and going, how can I be them? Train your mental, train the mental aspect of this, because you want to do exactly what they did. Use a massive defeat like that to actually spur you on to the victory in the next game. Don't let it pull you down in the next game. You know, if you know that the map you are good at is coming up, you've got to use that and go, right, this is where we do everything and we're going to do it well.
Yeah, I mean A7 as well, getting knocked by Alter Ego.
A7 right now? Like, is that what we're seeing?
Yeah, I mean Alter Ego do seem to be coming in a little bit now. I mean, I think it's just a little bit of a split there from A7. Unfortunately, they lose one player, Mythic. Yeah, I mean, it happens, but I mean, definitely still A7, I don't think gonna be too phased by this. They're probably just gonna move back, knowing that they've lost their scout from this direction.
Oh, hang on. A7 haven't lost 1. They've lost 2.
They lost 2.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, well, they will be one now.
Yeah.
Never mind. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
if they lost 2, that's a little bit more than 1.
Yeah,
At
I
this
didn't
point,
realize.
With literally 11 points separating them from first, and right now, while they are so strong aggressively, now it's kind of the time where they sort of need to swallow that pride and say, yeah, we can do very well individually, but we need to play this like we're not risking it at this stage. We have too much on the line here. We're to be that close in the top bracket. Yes, they're in 3rd, but they're essentially one performance away from 1st. Taking out the what?
Yeah, finish your point. I was just
well, I mean, essentially, if they were to attack the 1st place or 2nd place holders, I mean, they've secured their way into a 1st place performance as long as they do reasonably decent after that. So I'm saying 4 or 5 kills, decent placement, and depending on if they are to get one of those previously mentioned teams, then yeah, they're right on back in the bracket. So as a 2-piece, you need to play this kind of long haul in game, and that's not their forte. That's not their forte. It's
for
not.
A7.
Yeah.
And on the flip end, the team that took out the other duo, AE, I feel like AE should have just continued pushing Alpha 7 there on the edge, but instead they see the new circle and they center right up, kind of leaving 2